Welcome back. I'm Wavepunk, and this is day 45 of producing for a year. Yesterday, we took the day off from working on our track, and I think it was actually good for my ears to get away from the track for a little bit. So today, we began by just listening all the way through and trying to see what stood out to us. There was a few little pieces of MIDI data I adjusted as I listened through, but again, we're working on the climax of the entire EP here, and it's got to be right. So as we played through this section, I listened very, very closely. The first thing I noticed was that the pads I had added to the climax section here were muddying the stab punchiness I wanted the final 5-chord top of the whole piece to have. So I took those out, and actually I think it made a big difference. Next, as I was listening through, I thought about that frequency sweep effect we had built and thought, that's actually a pretty cool effect. We should use that in a few other places. So I tried putting it in different spots in the piece and was surprised by how inaudible it was at other spots. It's fascinating to me how apparently different these two areas of the song are. If I go to this area that I've been trying to add this little frequency sweep into, and I play it, it sounds full. But by comparison, this isn't that much less full. I think the biggest difference is in the high end. This is just so much more busy which is fascinating because then when we put this sweep in here, it's subtle. But it's definitely there. Meanwhile, we come over here. Maybe right at the end a little bit, but I feel like it's kind of placebo that I'm hearing anything there. It's crazy just how much the fullness of the top end and this end, in this section, makes this sweep completely inaudible. Problem? I think if anything that speaks to I don't need to add this here. Yeah, I don't know. So learn it. Those two sections didn't feel that different to me, but clearly they are. Okay, so a good lesson learned, or at least information gathered as we continue to understand frequencies and stereo and everything a little bit better. Let's work back on the climax of the piece again here. The end is definitely not done, and I'm struggling to hear what I feel like is missing and actually get a good idea of what I need to do to make this feel more done. So let's just trial and error a bit. Let's throw some stuff at the wall and see what works. What if I grabbed the riser from the beginning of the piece that I used to transition out of the pre-drop section to the post-drop section, and we put that at the end of our climax here. The intimidation is real. This sweep is so cool. It sounds so good, but it kind of feels like it should keep going, right? Like... And then we finally come down. But what the, that's like so much longer. Like, I Okay, when does it starts? That'll be like 40 seconds, like almost a whole minute of just this like climactic point, which I don't know, it's not terrible, but I also feel like, okay, hold on, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try this first. Let's shorten this and then shorten these. Move you to there, and then we're just gonna pull you back. All right, so we shortened it instead. Can we make it feel like it's the right spot to end if we make things a little bit tighter here at the end? Let's see. I almost think it has to. And the thing that really intimidates me about trying to make that section longer, I'm already proud of myself, the amount of energy I've been able to kind of get out of this section. And if I make it longer, I then have to somehow find a way to go up from here. And to get this to not just be chaos, I kind of am in my head, like, again, we've not really added a where we're going after this. I had an idea and I took it out because it was kind of wrong. In my head, what I'm hearing right now is kind of this like like this, like the music gives way to just literal cacophony and like thunder and like a building collapsing or something. And I don't know how to make that like effects work, like folio sound. I don't know. I'd like to make that seamlessly go and then to come back. And then I obviously don't want the piece to end there. I don't know. I'm just so out of my depth. I'm making things I don't know how to make. And is it easier if I just like stop being as ambitious? The trial and error of this is also really annoying, that like I could stretch all this out and then listen through it and be like, that's still not quite right, and not know why it's wrong, and then be like, well, do I just go back? You know, I don't know. Let's give it a shot. So while I'm struggling in real life to figure out where this drop section is supposed to end, the piece of music that exists in my head, it's very clear that it's supposed to end in one spot, but I can't seem to actually clarify the idea in my imagination strongly enough to be able to translate it into real life. So you've actually, I don't know if you can see me here, I'm actually singing along to the piece as I'm listening to it to try and meld the reality that is in my head with the reality that is in the computer. It gives me the ability to try and count down to, okay, here's where that final drop is supposed to be, I think, and now let's adjust all the MIDI to that point. Most of the adjustments here is just kind of copy and pasting stuff that is holding and kind of just punching you in the face over and over again. But a few instruments like the chugs here required new MIDI. The riser is a bit of a problem right now because I love where it starts and I don't want to stretch it. I need it to begin where it begins. I just want it to keep going afterwards, but we'll figure that out later. Let's see how this sounds. I think it'll work. Right now it does feel like a drop off because this riser does stop, but it's really cool because you have the stabs here. With the way that they build, it really tells your ear immediately, like, we're sitting here for a second. There's gonna be a lot of intensity here, right? And you get the of like going back and forth between the leading tone and the tonic, and just like the resolution just happening over and over again, but clearly not quite done because we're still sitting on 5. And then that piercing note comes over the top, which makes you feel like we're about to end, because that note is like a bum 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 bum, and you would come back down, right? But right as that note happens, we start to swell with the riser, and the drums start to double in pace, which just compounds it even more. If I can get those risers to really swell up, and then we just basically hit like a wall of kind of those white noises, like as we come out the other side of this, I feel like it'll be an amazing, really, really strong ending here. The risers is gonna, I don't know what to do though. I love that riser. Like this sound is just so good for what we're using it for. It's very chiptune. I just needed to keep going. I just needed to keep going up another 4 measures and it'd be perfect. But I need it to start where it starts. I can't just back it up. It won't feel right. I just need it to be this long. I don't know what to do about that. Again, we're foraging through. We're boss fighting the track, and we're gonna win. And we'll figure it out, folks. This has been a good episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.